Number 53 in the Radiance range is Planet of the Vampires in this limited edition hardshell box here. This is a film that I first saw a year or two ago. It was one that I had been after for a while. Released in 1965 and directed by Mario Bava. Terrore, nello, spazio is a wonderfully stylish throwback to 50s science fiction movies with a little bit of Bava thrown in there, using his wild colour scheme to really bring this movie to life. A lot of the visuals and the style of the film really pop off screen. It's a wonderful transfer, and with colours like this, it's easy to make it shine, and it does so on the disc. This is a movie all about a group of people who have been dispatched to attend this planet Aura to help a ship that is sending out distress signals. Once they get there, they realise that something strange is going on. They're at danger, and it becomes a struggle to survive this mission. Now, I'm a little bit worried about giving too much away here. The title, Planet of the Vampires, is very misleading because it's not the typical kind of vampires you're expecting in this one. Well, you need to kind of see the movie to figure out why it's called Planet of the Vampires, but it's not your typical kind. You get wonderful characters here, wonderful set and production designs, and as usual with Bava, a terrific use of coloured gels throughout it as well to create the mood and scope of this one.
Civilization.
And it does feel very artificial in the way it looks, from its sets to its clothing, to its ideas, but it comes together in a wonderful theatrical presentation. It's one of those movies that I feel strongly visually influenced Prometheus. Even though that movie comes 50 years after this one, there are certain things within this that just harken back to it, from the giant skeleton to the idea of something in this planet trying to get hold of them, to infiltrate them, to the whole look of the spacesuits and other things as well that just jump off the screen when you're watching it. You just see the influence that this has going on. And although it is very stylish and visually striking, it does have a rather good story. One that can be read as just a pulpy kind of tale, but there's more to it than you first see, because there is a little bit under the surface with this one that really ekes out during the film and future watches on this one. I like Planet the Vampire because it harkens back to that 50s kind of movies, like The Day the Earth Stood Still. It gives us these kind of stoic characters, kind of caricatures that I've seen before in plenty other movies. But here we have this vivid colour that really pops off screen. We have these wonderful spacesuits, the design of the spaceships, the idea of musical elements that come into it and throughout the film itself. The kind of horror that ekes into this one as well is just so measured and controlled and stylized that you just feel as if there's a really strong hand at the helm here. And this is something a little bit different for Italian movies of the time. Nobody was really doing science fiction movies like this or as well as this, and it makes me wonder what would have happened if Bava had dipped his toe further into this science fiction world, because I love the performers here, and the actors give like what you would expect. You're never quite sure who is to be trusted and who's not throughout the film. You instantly know the kind of hierarchy of the ship as soon as you join these characters, and it's easy to kind of follow along with the story, and there's a little sting in its tail as well. But for me, everything about this one is this luscious design, standards, the production values, everything about it just jumps off screen. It looks tremendous, and it's just a really fun, pulpy movie. I can't rave about it highly enough. It's one of those ones that I enjoyed the first time I saw it. I liked it more the second time. I've got a feeling that each time I go back to it, I'm going to appreciate it and love it more for what it is. And this is a lavish package that Radiance have given out here. Let's dive into the extras and have a little look. Here we are. in the disc for Planet of the Vampires. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have an audio commentary by Terrore. Then we have transmissions from a haunted world. In this newly produced documentary, film historians Guy Adams, Xavier Alain Desirés, Alexandra Benedict, Johnny Mains, and John Llewellyn Robert explored Planet of the Vampires, Mario Bava, and the connection between Gothic and science fiction, directed by Kat Ellinger and Dima Balin. This runs at exactly 41 minutes and is fantastic. You get a kind of mini biography of Bava. You have this great idea of science fiction and Gothic. It talks about the short story itself. Lots of great conversations. It's really well edited and put together and flows terrifically well and has a wealth of information. I thought this was a real standout, one of the best extras produced for a Radiance disc this year so far. Next up, we have Lamberto Bava. In this interview, Lamberto Bava discusses his experience of making Planet of the Vampires. And it was shot in 2022, runs for 13 minutes, 9 seconds. What I loved about this is the obvious passion that he still has for this film. Talks a lot about what his father wanted, what he was trying to do, how he achieved a lot of things on such a small budget, the American production. But it's just the way he talks and is so terrifically passionate about it. It was just infectious to watch. One of my favourite extras on any discs are Super 8 versions of a movie. Here you get the Italian version and the English version of the Super 8. It's a recreation of the German Super 8 digest version of the film. It runs for 17 minutes, 10 seconds. What I love about these is they're such strange Frankenstein monstrosities of the movie. They're literally cutting out, 75 minutes of the film, 80 minutes to create this, and it's really interesting to see how they build a narrative through that. They're always fascinating things, and one of the first I go to on any disc if it's there. Next up, we have Joe Dante, a short overview of the film by filmmaker Joe Dante from 2014. This runs at 3 minutes, 49 seconds. It gives a slight overview of the film, his idea of Bava, an idea of how he was almost killed just by seeing a Bava movie. It's great. And in a similar fashion, we have Josh Olson giving an overview of the film as well. It's 2 minutes 15. He's kind of talking over the trailer just about how some of the wonderful facets of the film. And finally, we have the trailer at 2 minutes 15 seconds. Also included in this package is an 80-page booklet with 5 essays in it. And I want to say my favourite is probably The Birth of Alien, Visiting Planet of the Vampires by Barry Forshaw, talking about the similarities between this and the Alien films, which I thought was great. And that's the extras for Planet of the Vampires. So there we have it, Planet of the Vampires. Pick it up. If you're a Bava fan, you're going to find something here. It may take you a watch or two to really appreciate it. I think you'll get there. I would love to know your thoughts on Planet of the Vampires if you've seen it. So let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, fall somewhere in the middle. Are you picking up this edition of it? I need to know. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com. Always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.